Many people spend their entire lives trying to find that something or someone that's going to make them happy, finding that one goal that solves all the problems. It doesn't work that way. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Erkka Suvanto. Some of you call me EJ. I'm the guy on social media who wants to build a legacy for his kids and pass on all the life and business lessons to each and every one of you. I'm a real estate investor and an entrepreneur. In one of my previous videos, I talked extensively about how I was able to increase my personal productivity and become happier by decoupling the goal from the work itself. And this video is about that. I'm going to go deeper into those specific actions as far as how I do it. I received some feedback from some of you, had a couple of offline conversations about what I mean by this in more detail. So I felt that it would make it worthwhile for everyone to talk about this a little more. It's such an important topic. Let me start by drawing a line. If we think about it, this is time here. Start here on the left and finish line here. And I think this is the picture that describes many of us. We are in the beginning of our journey and we see the North Star here in the horizon. And we believe that there is this one thing, this one goal that's gonna set us free, make us happy. And it's that fundamental delusion or misconception that people have, that there's something or someone out there that's gonna help me solve all my problems. It's like saying that I have this one large meal that's gonna make me full forever. I'm gonna have this one really good night's sleep and I'll never feel exhausted again. In other words, there isn't anything or anyone out there who can solve my problems. So what does it mean in practice? In practice, it means that we have two options. Option number one is that we remain outcome driven. Option number two is that we let the work itself define how good we are. An example of an outcome-driven person would be someone. Let's use an extreme example. Let's say my goal was to be the wealthiest person on the planet. And assuming I reach that goal, what then? The next year, something could happen and the economy in my country or in my continent collapses. And I drop down on that list to number 12. If my happiness, if my self-worth is tied directly to that ranking number of being the richest person on the planet, I would probably feel disappointed. I keep chasing something that potentially is not within my reach, or all of the things related to it, I can't control them. What's the alternative is the question one might ask. The alternative is to measure our own work by the standards we set for ourselves. What is the goal then? The goal, using this second option here as an example, is that no matter what the outcome is, it's win or loss, we win either way if we work hard enough. So the goal is to learn how hard and how well we can work. It's a process. And when we reach that, we can completely detach ourselves from the outside expectations. Nobody else defines how good or bad we truly are. It's our personal, quote unquote, goals and what we measure ourselves by. And what we measure ourselves by is the work we carry out on a daily basis. Goal is to work harder, better, and go deeper and find new levels within ourselves. I realized this in fitness long time ago, but it took me forever to understand that the rules are the same when it comes to my personal life and business as well. I've trained for 31 years. And of course, in the beginning when I started, I also had my outside goals for myself. Okay, this much muscle gain, or this much, losing this much fat, or getting this much stronger by this date. But then I realized that when I had plenty of disappointments, I always had to move the goalposts. That it's the process I fell in love with. And now when I hit the gym, my only goal is to first understand, okay, what's my best capability today? What's my today's best? And then the real goal is to execute up to that level. Today it might be using less weight, higher reps, or whatever the goal is, but every day I do my absolute best. And I measure my success based on if I was able to do just that. When I come home, do I feel exhausted? Do I feel that I have nothing left in the tank? So that's the key. So the true goal is to have nothing left in the tank. Nothing left. And I believe that at the end of the day, if we talk about concrete goals, you can win either way. If you're outcome driven or if work is your ultimate measuring stick. But the biggest difference is this. Using number 2, letting work define how good you are, is the long game. If our goal is to stay in the game, whether it's marriage, personal health, or whatever it is, our goal is not to win in marriage. Our goal is not to reach that beach body by next summer, but our goal is to stay married and stay healthy. And if you understand number 2, then you have a real good chance of staying in the game longer. Because number 1 means that your outcome, you are end result driven, and most likely you'll be disappointed. When that market tanks, economy takes a nosedive, and your goal was to be the richest man on the planet, what happens to your self-worth when you're number 9 on the list? That's why understanding what the winning actions are, what is that I need to do on a daily basis to get better, and what good work truly means, and what hard work means, is the starting point. And then my goal is to work so hard, find new levels in me that I can redefine that hard and good work and improve. Because at the end of the day, most likely, I will reach those very same goals. Let's say in fitness, if my goal was to gain 10 pounds of muscle or lose 20 pounds of fat. Eventually, if I just keep my head down and I execute, I understand what the winning actions are, and I learn how to work harder and longer and staying patient, I will get to that finish line. But I never have that finish line. I never have to move the goalpost because the work itself defines how good I am. Okay, so then moving on, in that same offline conversation, I promised to give a couple of concrete personal examples on this. So first of all, so this is regarding me personally. So I'm going to divide it into 2, micro level and macro level goal. So using that number 2 from the previous page again, so work being my goal, nothing left in the tank at the end of the day. So my micro level goal is to be proud of my work, my daily work, and feel exhausted at the end of the day. I did everything I could. I did my best. That's it. Using the gym example, I go to the gym, I define what my exercises today are. I decide these 7 or 8 exercises for my full body workout. I'm going to do 1 or 2 working sets, meaning sets to failure. Okay, today I feel like using 90% of a maximum typical weight. Then I execute, I leave everything out there, nothing left in the tank. That's my goal. And I forget whether I gained or lost muscle or weight or whatever ends up happening. Because I know I can trust in the process that at the end of the day, when I keep doing what I'm supposed to do, I will get better. And being better, learning how to work harder and better is my goal. So that was the micro level. What about macro? At the end of the day, no regrets. Same thing, nothing left in the tank. Nothing left. I wish I is what I'm desperately scared of. I never want to say I wish I. And my theory is this. When I work to my fullest potential, to my full capacity, I find new levels of work, how hard and how well I can work, this never happens. I never have any regrets. Yes, I have to face several fears, but that's just part of life. Okay, so now finally I promised these concrete steps. So I'm going to divide this into two. I already mentioned fitness. Okay? What are the winning actions? So step number one was to define the winning actions. So here, first of all, my diet. I eat certain foods. I know what the foods are. I stick to that. Alcohol consumption, limited. Same thing with caffeine, all the stimulants. Okay? That's my diet. So we could, the list could go on and on. It could go on and on. So 200 to 250 grams of protein per day. So my carbs, oats, potatoes, sweet potatoes and so forth, veggies, fruit. Okay, I stick to these items that work for me. That's a winning action number one, fitness. So then my exercise. What would that be? Okay, I have 4 weight training sessions per week, 4 per week, plus cardio. Depending on the week, that's 1 to 3 times. Okay, this is my winning formula for exercising. I stick to this. My goal is to do exactly this, okay? And then an individual exercise, let's say I have 7 to 8 that I pick. My reps are anywhere between 8 and 20. And I, for the most part, train until failure. Leave it all out there. Nothing left in the tank. It's just the same term. Nothing left in the tank. And what happens when I keep doing this? Day after day, week after week, year after year, I get better. So that's what I was trying to explain to some people offline and writing some comments about it too, that instead of focusing on that particular goal of gaining 10 pounds of muscle and being fixated on a certain timeline, because for the most part, I can't control the timeline in life. There are plenty of things that will happen. Something happens to the economy, something happens to my spouse or my kids or my parents or something, anything and everything can happen. But what I can control is my own actions. Understanding that I detach myself from any end goal out there. It becomes a self-fulfilling loop. When I keep doing these things, I feel exhausted at the end of the day. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of the work I did on that day. And I know I can get better the next time. It doesn't always mean that I can add weight or do more reps. It could be that my next week's maximum, my daily maximum, is actually 95% what I did today. But that's fine. That's also part of the process. I'm okay with the fact that I can't perform at my 100% capacity every day. I need to be honest about that. I need to be kind to myself too. That's been really hard for me to learn. But when I understand that, then I'm also okay with the fact that today's maximum was 95% of what it was last week. It's about doing what you can that particular day. And for the most part, we can do a lot more than what we think we can. Okay, so this was the fitness goal. So these are my winning actions. I stick to these. Okay, let's talk about business. Let's talk about, call it business. Let's talk about this social media thing that I started 4 months ago. Okay, I have mentioned this in the past that I was nowhere to be seen in the past. That was intentional. Nobody saw my face, nobody saw my name until I went from 0 to 100 overnight, basically. And I have my reasons for that, which is a topic for another day. But anyhow, instead of setting a number of followers as a target for myself or subscribers on my YouTube channel, I don't do that. Of course it matters to me, but at the end of the day, I know that if I can get better, if I can do the right things, that thing will happen over time. And whether it happens in a year or 5 years or in 10 years, it's kind of irrelevant. If I know that I can be authentic, I can stick to my core values of stating the fact, telling the truth, being super humble and vulnerable at the same time here sometimes. Those are the winning actions for me. So authentic, honest, state the facts, and then kind of like daily goals. I have set a 3 to 4 hour time target for myself for every day. So instead of reaching X number of followers or subscribers, I have a target of doing minimum of 3 to 4 hours of content per day. And for the most part, I've exceeded this. I would say every single day. Now between day 0 and day 120 something. This is my winning action. That I need to understand that doing more first so I can get better. And then after that comes new. So in this order, many people or some people give me feedback about fine-tuning my thumbnails or using this and these visuals. I understand that. That's part of the process too. But first I need to make sure that what I provide as far as the content goes adds value. I give using my authentic way, because that's the only way how I can do it. And then at some point, whether it's 6 months, a year, or 5 years, I will get what I need or want or what I deserve. Because in a long enough time horizon, my inputs will equal my outputs. So I always get what I deserve. So if I'm willing to put in the work and the hours, I get what I deserve. So 3 to 4 hours. And then if we break this down, so in my case, that's Instagram, that's LinkedIn, and that's YouTube, and so on. So 3 to 4 hours, I study, and I learn, and I read, and I take my notes, and I prepare for the videos, and I edit them. So it's actually more than this, but this was the minimum requirement. When I do it consistently, I can feel proud of the work I did. I most likely feel exhausted, and then that's how I define what that true success to me means. I hope this was good in terms of answering that question about how to take the work as the measuring stick to another level and not looking at the end goal or be outcome driven. Understand that there is no North Star or one goal that satisfies everything or solves all the problem. The same way there is no one meal after which you feel full forever. It's about the work. We need to learn how to enjoy the process and the work, and getting better at it is the goal. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the subscribe button and the like button there too. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.